What's up, traders? This is the analysis of the pick I put up in the beginning of the week stating what trend am I in. So I wasn't going to go over this until Monday, but since I had a lot of emails requesting to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and do this so traders can look over it the weekend, because the trend is very important part of trading. A lot of traders end up trading on the wrong side of the trend. If you trade in the direction of the trend, even if you get in the entry late sometime, you're at better odds with yourself at not getting stopped out. A lot of patterns fail with traders being on the wrong side of the trend. Not saying necessarily every time you trade with the trend you're going to be on the right side or you're not going to get stopped out, but when you trade in the direction of the trend, normally you are on the side with the money. So it is very important in my book to have an objective way of determining what the trend is. You can use moving averages to determine the trend. Well, in a sense, determine the trend. I don't use them for that, but you can. But at that point, you get some subjective signal sometime, or you determine the trend at a late stage. For me, the moving averages can determine how strong the trend is, but I don't use the moving averages at all to determine what the trend is. So for anybody viewing this video who didn't see the pic I put up on Facebook that said what trend am I in, go ahead and pause the video for a second to see if you can determine what trend prices are in just based on the information given on the screen. Is it an uptrend, downtrend, or sideways? This is a 20 period moving average. This is a 200 moving average. These dots are pivots. So pause it and see if you can determine what trend prices are in right now. Also, a lot of times the trend can seem a little more complex than what's presented, because an uptrend basically is higher highs and higher lows. A downtrend is lower highs and lower lows, and sideways is when it's not in an uptrend or a downtrend. With this in mind, a lot of people take it, you can't just say higher highs and higher lows. It has to have some type of meaning behind it, the meaning on when money came into the market to make it a valid higher high, a valid low. So you have to have an objective way of determining what's going on with the market and when is money coming into the market. So the first thing I'm going to do before I go through the analysis process is take off these moving averages. As you can see, I took off the moving averages and I put some indication up here. I didn't draw any trend lines or use any moving averages. I want to be strictly objective and have meaning behind what I'm saying the trend is. Now, like I said, an uptrend is a series of higher highs and higher lows. By definition alone, this period is an uptrend. We have higher high 1, higher low 1, higher high 2, higher low 2. By this point period, we are in an uptrend. That's what this is, an uptrend. Now, you see these right here. We have a lower high 1, a lower low 1, and a lower low 2. We never completed a lower high 2, which could have put us in a downtrend. And then what makes it even more significant, this uptrend was never violated. The point at which money came into the market, this area right here, was never violated. The big money steady held this area. They were holding this area, period. So they had more shares to buy. So they held this area until their shares were filled, or contracts, or I'm just using this. This is actually the Emini, so I'm just saying shares as an example. But right here, this area held, so it was never violated. And you see at this point, when it came back to this area of the original higher low, that they made a new high, because people knew this point. Traders all use majority some type of reference point. So if you can read the charts to determine where money came into the market at, this will help greatly increase your odds of being a successful trader. Now at this point coming down here, this was shortable, but it's in my plan also, but just not based on the information alone in this chart. And so I'm not going to really go over that. That's another time. This is just really just on trend, on the trend, not really going through support and resistance and higher time frames and lower time frames. But this was shortable. But the point that you need to recognize that it is buyers in this area, and we are in the uptrend. The uptrend has not been violated. So being objective, prices higher high, prices made a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, and higher low. That is by definition an uptrend. The reason also why the trend a lot of times leads to indecision and confusion is because a lot of individuals, traders, use subjective indicators. If you can read price and read where money came into the market, you could make your determination saying, hey, money stepped up here. This is it. This is where they're at. Everybody is, all traders are human, so they have to use some point of reference to determine something, whether it's fundamental traders, technical traders. At some point they decide to determine what area is value to them, and it shows up on the price chart. If you can determine what a value area is, then that will help you in determining a low risk entry, an entry that has higher odds in following through. So this will conclude what trend am I in. Until next time, I'll try to have something new for you. That's it. So, I'll holler at your traders later. Take it easy.